Lately, I've gotten one question from my email subscriber base that has come up a lot, so I thought I would talk about it today. As a nomad, are you worried about all the new laws restricting where you can sleep overnight? How do you decide where to spend the night? This isn't about avoiding certain states or living in fear. It's about understanding how to work within the system to maintain the freedom this lifestyle can provide. Today, I'm going to share exactly how I navigate this landscape, why I made certain decisions about where and how I stay, and most importantly, how this life can still provide incredible freedom when you understand how to play the game and work within the system. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nancy, and if you're new here, I document my life as a 60-plus solo RVer traveling across America. I share the ups, the downs, and sometimes the weird and controversial about living and traveling full-time in an RV. If that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss any of my practical RV living tips and honest observations about RV life. Let's start with what's actually happening out there. As I'm sure you've already heard, new federal and state laws directed at homelessness may change how and where you spend your nights in the future. As of today, August 14th, 2025, these states have the most restrictive laws. Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina have nearly statewide bans. Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and New Hampshire have expanding restrictions. New York and Hawaii have strict enforcement in major cities, plus 23 additional states with local ordinances. And it's accelerating. I put the date in because new restrictions and laws are popping up daily. President Trump signed an executive order in July 2025 encouraging cities to enforce camping bans more aggressively. Since then, we've seen another 50 more cities add restrictions. But here's what the fear-mongering YouTubes won't tell you. This isn't the end of RV life. It's the evolution of it. And if you play by the rules, which I'll show you, you can actually live better with more freedom than before. Here's what's happening. Over 150 cities across 32 states have now passed or strengthened camping ban ordinances. This wasn't specifically targeting RV life, but these laws do affect us as nomads, especially since much of the wording within these laws is very vague and open to interpretation. But many more counties, cities, and towns have put their own laws and ordinances in place, even in states that may not have bans in place. And here's something that might surprise you. Some places have made it illegal to sleep in your car, van, or your RV, even if you're on your own property. The best thing to do is to check your state, county, and city-specific regulations and call ahead if you plan on stopping in a Walmart, Cracker Barrel, or similar business that you think may allow overnight parking. Many individual counties, cities, and towns have had laws about where you can sleep in your car on the books for years, which is one reason in many places you can't stay overnight in a Walmart or Cracker Barrel parking lot. It's not necessarily the decision of the business, but the ordinance of the municipalities that have been put in place. Now, let me tell you about a decision I made almost 3 years ago, before I made the decision to live and travel full-time in my RV. I decided that Walmarts and Cracker Barrels were not part of my plan. Not because I'm too good to stay there, but because, especially as a solo female traveler, I want options that feel safer to me. I understand that this is a very personal decision, but as someone who shares my nomadic lifestyle here on YouTube, I talk about my decisions and why and how I made them. There are so many ways to live and travel in your RV or van. When I first started, I felt like I was overthinking this whole thing. But guess what? Many people are now scrambling because many municipalities have banned overnight parking at these locations, regardless what the business wants. And here's the harsh reality. This lifestyle was never truly free. In my 63 years, I've always had to pay to live somewhere. The difference now is that the rules are clearer. And honestly, I think that's better for all of us. The thought of living on the road, moving every day just to find a place to park where I won't get a knock on my door, that's not freedom to me. That's survival. And that's not what this channel is about. Many people say they don't like staying in crowded campgrounds and look for alternative areas where they can have more privacy. And some people just don't want to pay the nightly campground fees. I get that. Campground fees have gone through the roof, with a lot of nickel and diming on hidden fees, and they will only continue to rise, particularly KOAs and many state parks who are charging $50 a night or more for no hookups, just a place to sleep. Oh my gosh, I'm covered in ants. I've adjusted my travel plans to find less expensive alternatives. This year, I've been taking advantage of even more Harvest Toast options. Not only am I supporting small businesses, I get to stay in some beautiful places for only $30 a night. And usually the $30 includes the cost of farm fresh eggs, farm raised meat or produce, and sometimes even a meal and a glass of wine or a local IPA. In my opinion, this life is not free. Does it provide freedom? Yes. The freedom to bring my house with me as I explore new places whenever I want. Yes. The freedom to move near family and friends for extended stays in different areas of the country. Yes. Over the past few years, there has been a general trend in the U.S. of tracking nomads and monitoring homelessness, which I do find a bit frightening and an invasion of privacy. All I can do is to make sure that I am staying under the radar by having a legal place to stay every night and having the proper up-to-date documentation for my vehicle, like current driver's license, vehicle registration, and insurance, just like if I lived in a sticks and bricks house. I choose to play the game and I pay to stay. And here's the secret. When you play by the rules, you actually get treated better. Campground hosts appreciate responsible nomads, and law enforcement leaves you alone. If I ever do get pulled over and asked about my plans for the night, which I can see possibly happening in the future at some point, I can document exactly where I came from and where I'm going. That can be checked with a phone call if necessary. Do I like the trend I'm seeing? Absolutely not. Is this the direction where our country is going? I don't know. I do see potential for this, with new laws being enacted monthly and as vague and open to interpretation as they are. Am I ready for it? Yes, I am. I can't speak for the western part of the country, and I do plan on taking advantage of some BLM, Bureau of Land Management, camping in 2026. But for the East Coast and much of the Midwest and South, I definitely recommend having advance reservations in place, especially during high seasons like Florida in the winter or the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in the summer. One thing I noticed last year was that many of the state parks in and around the UP were going to be closed for refurbishment in 2025. Some were closed last year, and nearly all of the campgrounds I stayed in were full on the nights that I was there. Making my reservations at least 3 months in advance paid off, although you may get lucky and find a campground if someone cancels at the last minute. To me, this is nothing new. I've been camping in Florida for over 20 years, and finding a campsite in a state or county park has always been challenging. I remember getting on the reservation site at midnight, 6 months before my planned stay, and pressing that reserve button to get that campsite. Competitive campground reservations. So this is nothing new. Also, I find I book as much of my travel as possible in Thousand Trails or Encore locations. I hear and see the complaints about Thousand Trails all the time, about the crowdedness or the need to update or lack of resort amenities. But I have stayed in many private campgrounds or KOAs with a lot less, where I paid a lot more. And a lot of those campgrounds really needed updating. And many Thousand Trails and Encore locations do have a lot of room to spread out and enjoy nature. Many are on beautiful lakes with hiking trails and places to explore. Some are out in the middle of nowhere, meaning 45 minutes from the closest large grocery store or Walmart. And I have found that that is part of the beauty of this life. Being off the beaten track and exploring the back roads of small towns and areas across the country to find those hidden gems that people often miss. Whether you're a full-timer like me or a some-timer, Thousand Trails has camping plans for everybody that can save you a lot of money and help to make camping much more affordable. I'll leave a link for both Thousand Trails and Harvest Hosts in the description if you would like to learn more about either one of them. Let me give you the real numbers. My projected camping fees for the year are about $3,200, staying at about 30 campsites. That includes spending 6 weeks in the Florida Keys, a long weekend in Tybee Island, several harvest hosts, and a few state parks and locations I really wanted to visit, or to break up a long trip from one destination to another. My projected fuel charge, including my Jeep fuel, is $2,500 to drive about 13,000 miles this year. The total will be not quite $6,000 or $500 a month, including electricity and water, to live where I want, spend time with people I love, and experience many new places I would not be able to experience living in a stationary house that would cost me a lot more than $500 a month to live in. Again, your journey is different than mine. Mine is to live and travel well while staying debt free. Do I think you need to worry about RV or van life disappearing? Not right now, as long as you are willing to do some advanced planning and you're willing to stay someplace designated for camping, either paid or free. Just like you can't build a house in an industrial zone, you need to stay in places zoned for overnight camping, whether you're in an RV, a van, or a car. In my opinion, there is no free ride. In my 63 years of life, I've always had to pay to stay wherever I've chosen to live or camp. Should you be concerned about new laws restricting overnight parking? Yes. Should you be afraid? Absolutely not. This lifestyle is evolving, not disappearing. The nomads who adapt and play by the rules will thrive. The ones who don't, well, they'll be the ones complaining on YouTube comments about how van life is dead. Will RV life disappear? Not if you're willing to do advanced planning and stay in designated areas. In my 3 years of full-time RV living, I've learned that this life provides incredible freedom. The freedom to bring my house as I explore new places. The freedom to spend extended time near family and friends across the country. That freedom is worth $500 a month to me. Like it or not, there have and always will be rules to play by. Understanding the rules of the game makes it easier to play and enjoy the game. The rules and laws are changing, but the game is still playable. The opportunity for this lifestyle isn't disappearing, it's evolving. And those of us who adapt and learn to play by the rules will continue to thrive. I hope this helps you with all the confusion you are probably hearing about on other YouTube channels or the news. This isn't about avoiding certain states or living in fear. It's about understanding how to work within the system to maintain the freedom this lifestyle can provide. If this helped clear up the confusion you're hearing on other channels, hit that like button and subscribe if you want real talk about RV life without the fear mongering or unrealistic expectations. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. How are you adapting to these changes? What strategies are working for you? I love hearing from fellow nomads who are making this lifestyle work in practical, sustainable ways. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep enjoying your own journey and keep making your own lane.